Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah.
Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. Mama and Papa back here with you today to discuss Welcome to Plathville, Season 4, Episode 8.
Hello, y'all.
I hope y'all are doing great today. Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. It starts out with Mariah in the ballroom dancing class. She said it feels romantic and makes her feel good. Well, any kind of exercise gives you happy endorphins,
Yes.
which is good. Plus, I mean, she's a beautiful dancer. I mean, I just love to watch ballroom dancing.
Now, as far as the exercising, all right. Now, when you first start exercising, it doesn't give you any pleasure at all.
It hurts.
Yes, for the first month,
Probably or
2
more.
months.
Yeah.
And after that, when you're in shape like Mariah, Mariah's in pretty good shape because she runs.
Yeah.
Right? She's seen an
Yoga.
episode where she ran, and so she. I mean, as far as when you're in that kind of shape, there is no
It's
agonizing.
nothing but skin and bone and muscle.
Yeah, there's no agonizing next day or two after that. So
Yeah. And then shows Lydia helping out with her little sisters when her mom's at the studio. And she's very wise at times. And she says, if you're constantly pouring out into everyone else, but you're not getting filled, you're going to run dry. That is something that happens.
You said that?
Lydia.
Oh.
And I think that's very wise because a lot of people, especially moms, get to that burnout stage, and it's just
For stay-at-home moms.
yeah. And after 20 plus years of it, I mean, you're gonna get burned out a little bit. You don't get a day off when that's your job.
Because if you're a working mom, right, getting out of the house and going to work, that's kind of getting away from your mom duties,
Yeah.
so to speak. But if you're a stay-at-home mom, 24/7 mom duties.
365.
365.
Amen. And Lydia said she hasn't really talked to her mom in a while, and that's hard on both of them, I would imagine, because
They were close.
yeah, and I think Kim's trying to be respectful and not like just pour her emotions out onto Lydia, which is what she should not be doing. So she's doing a good thing there. And so she's like kind of giving distance to give everybody a chance to like kind of absorb what the heck's been going on. And then it shows Ethan's motorcycle, and he and Micah are riding to Cairo to see Ethan's cars. And it looks too damn cold to ride to me. Those little thin jackets they had, I'm surprised they weren't blue when they got there.
Far for a motorcycle, isn't it?
It's about 4 hours. On a nice day, that's a great ride.
Yeah.
But on a cold, crappy day, not so freaking much. At this point, Ethan still doesn't know about his parents splitting up. And Micah told Barry to call him and like just be like, hey man, you need to get the ball rolling because we all know except for him, and this is awkward. And then Ethan gets a text right then from Barry wanting to talk, and Ethan asks Micah if mom will be there, and he's like, she might be. And then the phone rings, and it's Barry. So that's some interesting timing, right? It's very convenient. Right there when the cameras are rolling.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Excellent. Barry, call Ethan. Barry, call Ethan.
Right. And then Ethan said he feels that his dad really misses him and wants to see him. And I'm thinking, but your mom doesn't? Like, when did she become the devil and all? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, this episode kind of made me frustrated.
Yeah.
It kind of frustrated me to a point with Ethan.
Yeah. And he said he thinks Barry is sorry and regrets what happens. And he doesn't think his mom is sorry.
You know why? All right, because the mom went to Mariah's concert when Olivia told Mariah to tell her not to.
Yeah.
But she went anyway, and Barry stayed behind. So Ethan sees that as like a sign of, I guess, respect. I guess you can say respect of wishes.
Yeah.
And Kim didn't.
It had nothing to do with him or Olivia.
But everything is about Ethan and Olivia.
I know, and it makes me crazy.
Mariah dancing in the beginning episode had everything to do with Ethan and Olivia. Didn't you know that?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I love our sarcasm. And then Ethan said he seems really happy after the call and agrees to meet. And then he admits to doing wrong too. And he only faults Barry for not standing up to Kim.
That's his wife.
And then he compares Olivia to Kim.
Why?
And I'm like, if you see it and you know it's there, why are you still allowing it to happen, dude?
Here's the thing. He gets mad because Barry stuck up for Kim. All right, even though they're husband and wife, they're married.
Yep.
All right, maybe.
And Ethan knows that he's supposed to stick up for Olivia, or else, he ain't gonna get no nookie for 2 months.
He did in that driveway.
And he learned his lesson, didn't he?
Yeah, we all are.
He trained his ass.
We're still learning our lesson in that scene.
And it's just crazy, the hypocrisy and double standards.
Oh yeah.
And then Olivia and Mariah are at a pole dancing class, and they said they went from Pleasantville to Sex in the City. I don't think they've ever seen Sex in the City because...
Well, Pleasantville isn't pleasant.
Yeah, I don't think she even understood that, what she was saying. And she said she feels like a cow. And I'm like, well...
She's flushing for compliments there.
Yeah.
Fishing for compliments.
And I'm like, if you're that worried about it, work out.
She's not a cow.
But if you're worried about it, work out.
And well, she is. But that one day.
Right. Exactly.
That's what he's saying. That's like when I go to gym. One day I'm done.
Mariah said that she is deconstructing what she learned growing up. And see, this is, I think, a very positive and empowering thing to do. Because again, you're unlearning those things that, whatever. But it's a great way. I think it's good for your confidence. It's good to exercise.
No, there's nothing wrong with pole dancing.
But especially for them, I think it's good to get out of that comfort zone. And then Ethan and Micah go to see Barry, who was reading his Bible when they showed up. They made sure to make a point of showing him reading his Bible.
Yeah.
And then Barry says he's, quote, sorrowful that Ethan isn't ready to reconnect with Kim like he is with him. He just doesn't want to be around her. And I'm like, point it out some more, dude. Rub that salt a little bit more. I don't think Kim quite understands that her eldest child hates her.
At this point in time, Barry's still salty.
Oh, very. And he enjoys rubbing the salt in her wounds.
Yeah.
And then he called Kim gracious for leaving so that they could meet up because he's just willing to see me. Rub it in, rub it in. Rub it in, rub it in.
Yeah,
I'm just like, poor Kim. Because, these are the same little comments that he tells all the children. And that's that subtle psychological training that he's the victim and, like, everybody should be mean to her or whatever.
Barry, you're wrong.
You're mean.
You're in the wrong, Barry.
And then all 5 kids were very happy to see them. Ethan shakes his dad's hand, which,
Oh, that's different. Instead of wanting to punch him.
And at this point, I just want to point out, Mercy is 9, Cassie is 10 or 11, and Amber is 13. So they are not little bitty children anymore.
No.
And then Ethan sees how different things are in the new house, and he says he missed out on a lot of the kids' lives. That's you, dude. You chose that. That was your decision.
Did he miss out? Because now is the best time to be part of their lives. From 11, 12, 13 is the best time.
Yeah, those ones are the most interesting.
Well, not just that, but now they're the most, I guess you can say, naive or whatever.
Innocent.
Innocent, yes. They see the world in rose-colored glasses, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
So now's a good time if any time, for his sisters to have a role model like him.
Yeah.
So if he wants to be in their lives...
Be in their fucking lives.
Yes. Nobody is saying don't be in your sister's lives, Ethan. Only you are saying that.
You're the only one causing this.
And Olivia.
Yeah. And then they play the piano and it's cute together. And Lydia is sad that the mom isn't allowed to be there. And Barry totally blames fights on Olivia and Kim on Olivia being versus Kim and vice versa. So everything is getting laid on them.
So Ethan wanting to punch Barry in the driveway has nothing to do with Barry.
That was all Kim's fault.
Well,
because she told him to do it when nobody was around. It's with the cameras
didn't
on.
Ethan say that he's the neck that turns Kim's head?
No, Kim's the neck that turns Barry's head.
Oh, okay.
Barry's the head of the family.
Okay.
Get it? But
Good.
she's the neck that turns the
I
head.
get it now, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like he wears the pants, but she tells him what pair.
exactly. And they chat and catch up, and then they leave the little kids to talk alone. And then all the boys, being Barry and let's see, Ethan and Isaac and Micah and then Lydia, they were all there. And Barry tells Ethan about the separation, and Ethan says, "Dang, I've been there." And Barry says, "It's heading to divorce." He spelled out, he's like, "It's headed to divorce."
You see, Kim and Barry are different than Ethan and Olivia. Way different. Ethan cannot compare his marriage to Barry and
4
Kim's.
years ish.
Yeah, if at that time, yeah, if that. To Barry and Kim's 23.
Or
24, 25,
yeah,
whichever it is.
exactly.
So you're sitting there saying, I've been there. It's like, no, you haven't, Ethan.
You haven't been separated from the woman you were married with and had 10 children with over 25 years.
Exactly. And Ethan, for you saying that, you're
very naive,
Yeah,
very
very,
young,
very wrong.
showing your immaturity.
Oh, God. Now, you'd have no idea what
But
your
then
dad and mom's going
Barry said, I have a hard time saying that word. Do you see how it's
You've already been divorced once, Barry.
right?
You've already been divorce once.
And it's like, but you can these little subtle things he's saying. It's indoctrinating. Oh, poor pitiful Barry. Feel
Yeah.
sorry for me. And then Ethan says he's sorry, and Barry says, Barry tells Ethan all about his sorrow and grief over the last couple months. There's been a lot of pain, and we've said it in other episodes. He's campaigning for the hearts and minds of the Plath children's hearts.
Yep. He's got Lydia's.
He's talking about how hard it's been for him and how much pain he's been in. And he's really, really pushing. And Ethan said, "That's definitely hard, but I'm glad you told me in person." And he relates it to when he and Olivia split up for a while. And Barry said, "Last year I noticed a change in your mother's posture towards me, and we had conversations about what she was feeling, how she was feeling." And here's my thought. She never felt like she had a voice with, oh no, she said, she never felt like she had a voice with me in our marriage. I would either shut down or discount her.
Mm-hmm.
That was her pressing issue. So if you knew what this issue was, okay, and obviously it's been a discussion piece for probably a long time,
Yeah.
and you never changed, why are you surprised she finally got sick of you and left? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
It makes no, like, just like those people that are driving on the highway and you're like, in 3 miles, the left lane is closing. In 2 miles, the left lane is closing.
Oh, you mean one of my pet peeves?
Yeah, in
Driving.
1 mile, the left lane is closing. In a half mile, in a quarter mile, in 30 yards.
They don't get left lane until it hit the barrels.
Or they're like, they're stopped there. They're like, oh my God, I didn't know this lane was closing. Oh my, I can't get over. I'm going to be late. What's going on?
I don't let them in.
But that's what's happening here. He's had all these warning signs for how long and ignored them. And then he's dealing with the consequences and still playing the victim.
Yep.
And he said the others, maybe I took her for granted, like she's always be there. Still campaigning.
Yep.
And Ethan said it's easy to do that. And I'm like, you fucking daddy sucking little bitch.
Yep.
And then Barry said, I just saw her heart just change. And she just closed down things for me, right? She just stopped loving me. It doesn't just happen, dude.
It takes two, Barry.
Yeah, and one person can beg and plead and argue and campaign and just ask for what they need and ask and ask and ask, and at some point you give up.
Yep.
And when you stop fighting, the other partner's like, oh hey, ooh, we're finally calmed down, it's finally happy. No, that's when things are over, dude.
He thought everything was fine. He thought she's never gonna leave me with the kids. The kids are, he's like, maybe when they get older.
Yep.
Okay, possibly, but right now I'm fine. I'm safe. She's never going to divorce me with these little kids.
Yep.
And he was wrong. Because
Yep.
these kids aren't little anymore.
Nope.
They're tweens and teens now.
Indeed. Or adults.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the little ones. The ones
Yeah.
still living at home.
There's only 3. Well,
Yeah.
4 with Isaac, but he's like 16, 17
Yeah,
years
he's a
old. And
teen.
he's
Yeah. And
basically almost gone.
Lydia's an older teen, yeah. So
In his interview, Barry said, Kim and I both have issues in the marriage, and I'm hoping there's a chance that Ethan will be able to talk to Kim about her perspective in all this. And I'm just like, he's like, again, there's always that undertone of her perspective. Like,
the truth.
well, it's like he's always painting it as though it's like, oh, well, you should listen to her perspective too. You know, you really should.
He really doesn't think he's done anything wrong.
Really, and it's like it's always this very subtle negative undertone in everything he says about her, and it's I mean it's he's I don't know
It's the way he was raised.
he gives me a real creep vibe and always has.
And I can't wait to meet the grandparents. Because we are eventually down the road.
I don't know if
Okay.
we will.
We probably will eventually. We need at least an episode or two.
We'll
You know what I'm
see.
saying? But I mean, I just want to see because like you can tell a lot about a person by their family.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you can tell why they are the way they are, whether it be negative or
Yes.
positive.
Absolutely.
Because there's a negative, positive that happens on people and their families all the time.
I know exactly what you're
Barry's.
talking about.
I think Barry's family put a negative in him. He doesn't think it is, but if he's not willing to change, okay, that's a negative.
Right.
I mean, you have to give and get. You have to give and take.
Yes.
All right. It's every marriage is like that. And
Absolutely,
since he's already been
100%.
married once, he
You'd
should
think he'd
realize
know.
this. He should realize this.
Right. Well, and then Lydia and Ethan said they need time to process it. I mean, Lydia's had time, but again, every time we talk about it with her, she just gets upset again. And they never, all of them, every single one of them have said, we never saw it coming. And I'm just like, that's really good. See, when you say you should never argue in front of your kids, and obviously they never did,
Yeah.
but then when something like this happens, it does blindside them. So if you're having issues, something like that, you can't.
Well, they preached it too.
Yeah, true. It's just, oh,
They
it's
preached
such
it
a
in-
mess, you guys. It's
See,
such a damn mess.
They hammered it into their head that you can't divorce. You got to marry the first person you meet that you like, you date. You got to marry that person.
Mm-hmm.
And that got Ethan into trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. And Micah and Mariah are pretty. They
learned that lesson.
They learned through Ethan. Okay. And now they're pissed off because it got hammered into their head as they were kids. You cannot divorce. You get divorced, you go to hell.
And now you're doing it.
All right. And now you're getting divorced.
The hypocrisy.
So I mean, everything is. There's so many curveballs being thrown at these kids.
Yes.
You know, Micah.
Well, it's like Lydia had said, over the last few years, they've gotten very used to change.
Micah, and Mariah handled it pretty well. Okay, because they want to change anyway.
Yes.
Okay, they're out of the house by now. By the time of the divorce.
Yes.
They're out of the house. Lydia, I'm kind of interested to see what Isaac thinks of all this because nobody's ever sat down with Isaac.
He doesn't. He's
They had an
he plays
interview.
his card very close to his chest.
And asked him, say, Isaac, what do you think and how do you feel about your parents' divorce? You know, and have cuts.
Natural conversation.
Yeah. Well, you're not gonna have a whole conversation on tape, on video, on the show, but have cuts of it.
Comments.
Yeah, to see what the Isaac side is.
Yeah.
How Isaac feels because Isaac, like you said, and that's gonna hurt him in the future.
Well, and speaking of the kids, I'm glad that, Amber being 13, they allow her to be a little bit part of the show and give her feelings and stuff on the show. But I'm glad that they leave little Cassie and Mercy, who are, like I said, they're like 9 and 10 or 11.
Next season, probably.
But I'm hoping that they don't for a while because, even though, yes, they're in the kind of like the background, the periphery of the show, like they're not the main characters, so they don't get targeted a lot in that area. And I think that's great. I think that they should allow them to just be kids as much as possible. That was my opinion.
No, you're right.
And then it's Kim. We're watching Kim wasting time until Ethan leaves and she can go home. She meets up with a friend, Charles, who's a realtor, and he sold them their first rental property, their new house, the dance studio, Ethan his house, and rented the house to Mike and Mariah. So he's known the family for a long time.
Yeah.
And so she tells Charles,
Small town.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Tells him about Ethan being with Barry and won't see her. And Charles says he hopes that Ethan won't make decisions based only on Barry's side. After all, you're his mom, which, and then Kim says, that hasn't counted for much in a couple of years. And that kind of broke my heart a little bit more for her because I, I can't even imagine the heartache, the pain that
Yeah.
you're the only one in the family that is ostracized and literally left out.
Yeah, just
And he says that he hopes Ethan sees that everything they did was from love. And Kim said she was waiting for Ethan to be ready to talk to her. Which again, she's maybe before she had
she's
issues
giving him
with
space.
boundaries,
She's giving him space.
and she is trying to respect his boundaries and, whatever. And then she says that they are committed to not saying anything bad about, or she's committed to not saying anything bad about Barry, and she thinks he is too. Well, let's be real, he's kind of subtly
Yeah,
campaigning
in
to
his
everybody.
mind, he's not saying nothing bad.
Right? Because he's not saying all that bitch and blah.
Exactly, but he's
He's still letting his feelings be known.
exactly.
But she said it makes her reasoning seem less justified, because she can't tell everything of her reasonings to the children. A lot of it's very, very personal and not appropriate to tell your kids.
Yeah, because Michael wanted to know why,
Yeah.
and she didn't want to tell him. She didn't tell him anything.
And, she gave him some watered down versions.
Yeah.
And then Charles said that we all have the right to be happy. Absolutely, we do. And then Kim said she loves her family and she still wants a relationship with everyone despite everything. And I think that's what all her point has been all this time. Yes, she fucked up. She may have done or said some stuff that was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
She's sorry. She wants everyone to. She loves her kids. She's sorry. All he has to do is allow her to say that. And she said some people would have given up by now, but I don't see that in her DNA. That's a good friend who could see that in her. Be like, she's not gonna give up on her kids. She's not gonna give up.
So I think maybe they might be more than friends.
I don't know. I didn't look. Usually I look and see if there's a wedding ring, but I didn't notice this time.
Yeah, I didn't look.
I didn't notice. Then we're back at the house, and the three brothers are in Isaac's room. And Ethan says it doesn't make sense because Dad has done everything for her. What? What has he done? Other than going to work and making a living, what has Barry done for her? I want a list.
He oppressed her. He didn't let her be who she wanted to be.
He knocked her up 10 times.
I mean, she didn't want to be this lady.
Yeah, she made a lot of changes for her, but everybody thought it was her because she was the enforcer of the rules. Because she was there the whole time.
Exactly. He drilled it into her head. This is the way we're going to live. And she became...
the enforcer.
No, what's that called when you're kidnapped for so long and then you finally start...
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm not saying he kidnapped
Stockholm
her.
syndrome.
Yeah, I'm not saying he kidnapped her, but he had her believe in that in his way so long.
Indoctrinated.
Yep, that she
brainwashing.
Yep, like Ethan is with Olivia. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
then, get there. Sorry.
And then Ethan said, "Stuff like this makes me question a hell of a lot about the way I grew up." Didn't he already question everything about the way he grew up?
There is nothing wrong with the way he grew up. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
she should have pushed the education more.
Yeah,
but some kids are not students. They are doers.
And if it wasn't for her,
they should have made them like go get your freaking GED and then go to trade school and become, the
whole sex thing. Yeah, they should have never drilled into their kids.
Yeah, the dating thing was completely stupid.
Yeah, that way's dumb.
We've talked about that many, many times in many episodes.
That way's dumb. But I mean, overall, I give them a 90% grade as far as the way they parented their kids when they were younger.
I think so too. I don't too.
Sometimes I wish we would have parented our kids the way they parent their kids.
Maybe in some ways, but not every way. And then Ethan said he's glad he doesn't have to see Mom. Already said he doesn't ever want to have a relationship with her. He said
Mom.
But especially after this. He said, right now, I goddamn for sure won't. I've been done with that lady for a long time. This is my last straw.
Stockholm syndrome.
And then
Brainwash.
Micah goes, Ethan.
That's
I'm
my
getting
mom.
pissed off at your attitude towards our mom. And then Isaac chimes in, you probably shouldn't say that lady. And
I did like that they actually stuck up for Kim.
yes. And then Micah said, I get that you feel like that, but I'm really, and he got cut off because Ethan was like, why does she have to do this though? And I'm like, God, you're a grown married man, dude.
Maybe
And
he should do it.
and then in his interview, he said, Micah's not a hot-headed person. For him to say he's pissed off is definitely out of character for him.
Mm-hmm.
That really got my attention. And I think that's good. You know, I mean, because again, a lot of times sibling to sibling will kick in somebody's head a lot faster than parent.
Especially as close as they are.
Yes.
They're like best friends, all of them.
Sometimes I think they are, and sometimes I'm just not sure.
No, I mean, yeah, they're gonna have their issues. Every best friend, brothers, sisters, they all have their issues.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's the way like they make up like the stuff they're going through presently.
Yes.
Okay, they're still brothers.
Yeah.
They're still siblings. They still talk.
Yeah, they still love each
They
other.
still love each other. Yeah,
Absolutely.
friends. You know, just friends, just your neighbor. You won't just talk to them.
No, you just be like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Well, and then Micah says he doesn't understand everything, but she's his mom and he loves her. And then Ethan says Micah is a better man than him because he doesn't.
Micah is a better man than Ethan.
How can you say you don't love your mom just because she doesn't like your wife?
I don't understand Ethan has against Kim. I don't. I honestly, I don't.
Does he even remember anymore?
I don't think he does. He just has a jolt in his head from Olivia saying, you're not supposed to like your mom. You're on my team. You're Team Olivia,
Right.
not Team Kim.
Exactly.
Okay? So no matter what happens, you have to be against her all the time. He's like a robot.
Yep.
He is a robot to Olivia. At this point in time, right now.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yes.
And then Micah says he only heard Barry's side. So obviously he feels more sympathy for him than Kim. That's understandable. But you haven't seen mom in a long time and she's changed. And then Ethan goes, what does that mean? And because he was continued, he's like, she's changed almost as much as I have. And he says, well, she's changed a lot. She's a totally different person. And Isaac chimes in, but in a good way. Which is funny.
Yeah.
And he says, and Micah says, she's fun to be around.
And Isaac said something too.
And then Isaac said, thank you for bringing that up. So we're not painting her out to be the bad person. She's just doing what she feels is right. And then Ethan, Micah, and Isaac jump in to defend. Wait. Ethan said, Micah and Isaac jump in to defend mom. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to make sense of that and add it up in my mind. It's been a while since I talked to mom. And then Isaac said, she's honestly a lot cooler than any of my other friends' parents. That's not who you know.
That's what I was waiting to hear.
That's not who you know her as because she wasn't like that when you moved out.
See, that's what I was waiting to hear. I remember
The
Isaac
boy is
saying
someone to
that. Yeah.
say, you know, hey, she's changed, dude. You have no clue.
She's not worse, than my friend's parents. She's better than my friend's parents.
Right, she's like the best of them.
Yeah.
And then Ethan said, someone making a change doesn't mean they're changed on the inside.
He's never.
I'm like, dude, you are turning into Olivia. Nothing makes you happy. Nothing is good enough.
I don't think at this point in time in the story, in the family, I don't think Ethan will ever forgive his mom. And I don't even know what he's mad at her about.
I don't know these people in real life. I've never met them. They don't know me. They probably think we're some fucking weirdos to talk about them. But
hopefully they're listening to us.
I've seen these kids grow up over the last few years, and I really do care. You know me. If it's a kid, an old person, or an animal, I've got a giant heart. And like watching these kids grow up and all this stuff happening and everything, it makes me really, really sad because you need your mom.
Yeah.
Like I don't have my mom because of the toxic whatever.
My mom's 1,000 miles away.
And yeah, so like until I got my stepmom, a few years ago, I haven't had a mom in a very long time, and so it's nice to have one. And so for him to say, I just don't have a mom anymore, it makes me sad. And then Micah says, I'm afraid that you're jumping to conclusions before you talk to mom. You don't want to talk to mom, then you're probably gonna go talk to Olivia about it, right? And Ethan said, I don't think so. And Isaac said, just don't I just don't want our family to be even further apart than we already are.
Yeah.
Because again, if he's only hearing Barry's side and he goes with Olivia and tells only Barry's side, oh my God.
Yeah, I think Isaac is the wisest. I think he already knew what Olivia was about.
Oh,
I don't think Isaac and Olivia were ever close.
no, no. Not as he would only want to hang out with Ethan.
Yeah.
Olivia was just furniture.
Yeah.
And then Ethan said, the only thing I would tell Olivia is that they're getting a divorce. I don't care to discuss it with anyone. And Micah said, Olivia is going to ask why and what's happening. And then Ethan said, I don't care.
And and I believe that. I believe that because he does shut down.
He has to process it inside.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of the same way. When something big happens or there's something, I just need that minute to go, okay, I need to process it all in my mind, run through all the, possible scenarios and all that crap. And then I can discuss it calmly because before I do that, I kind of panic.
See, but as older kids, okay,
Yeah.
they're not living at home anymore. all
True.
right?
Yeah.
So they don't have that. They're not living in the divorce.
Right.
Okay. So you think as older kids, they would want both their parents happy.
You would think.
So if this makes their mom happy,
But Ethan
should be
doesn't
happy.
want her to be
I'm
happy.
not talking about Ethan. Ethan will probably come around eventually once he finds out that Olivia is evil. Okay.
If she ever finds out.
Well, I'm sure eventually something will drop on his head and he'll remember who he is.
But not,
But I mean, no, I mean, just knock him out. He'll wake up on what am I? Oh,
unharmed.
yeah, unharmed. Exactly.
Okay.
He's gonna get his memory back. He's not gonna have amnesia no more.
Okay, as long as he's unharmed.
Exactly. He'll be unharmed.
Okay.
But I mean, they should want both the parents happy. Right now, Barry's not happy. Okay, but
course
Barry
not.
will learn to be happy.
Yes.
All right. Kim isn't happy because she doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want to divorce Barry.
She doesn't want to hurt her kids.
Exactly. Well, yeah, she doesn't want her kids, and I think she still has mixed feelings too. I mean, she wants to divorce Barry, but she doesn't want to hurt him.
About Barry.
She doesn't want to hurt him.
She loves him as a person.
Yes.
But
But
they've been friends, like she said, since before they got married, and that's what she wants to be now, if possible.
and eventually they're both going to be happy.
Yes, and that's all. As everyone will eventually, everything will smooth out, and everyone will be happy again. Even though sometimes in a situation like that, you feel like you never will be again.
Yeah.
We've been there. We are kind of there, but we're gonna get through it, just like they will. And in Ethan's interview, he said, I don't really think that Olivia needs to know all the details. It feels like gossip, and I don't want any of that. I can see that point of view. I totally can. And then Ethan said to his brothers, with everything that happened between me and Mom and Olivia, or me and Olivia and Mom and Dad, I had a big grudge against Mom, and I hold a grudge against Olivia. And he said, I should talk to Mom sooner than later, mainly so we can talk about the siblings, so he can see, and so he can tell his side of the story. But he isn't there yet. Tell his side of the story about what?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand any of that.
I understand that he has to talk to her so he can see the siblings.
No, I understand that. But as far as I still don't understand why he's mad at his mom.
I don't think he does either anymore. It's all about Olivia.
Yeah.
And then Ethan says, at this point in his life, where if it includes drama, he's probably gonna walk. He could, and quote, I'm so tired of it. That's exactly what Mariah said.
See, this is why Olivia wants to get him far away from his family as possible.
Yeah.
Because when he's around his family, he starts to
Like them?
Yeah, he starts to like them, and he starts to see their end of it as far as Olivia goes.
And he can relax?
Like, when they go away, okay, Olivia and Ethan go away,
Yeah.
then he's suckered back into Olivia again.
125%.
But when he comes back, that's why she didn't want him to come back.
She is completely isolating him.
Mm-hmm.
It's classic abuser behavior.
Yeah.
And then the little girls barge in, and they're taking pictures together, and lots of giggles from the little ones, and that's how it ended, and that was nice.
Yeah.
But there's so much, you guys, that I really, really, really wish some of you would post your opinions, because I don't understand. We don't understand why he is still angry at the mom, why he won't even give her a chance to say I'm sorry or explain anything. Like, he's like, she's not sorry, she doesn't feel bad. How do you know that?
Yeah, he doesn't, because he hasn't at this point in time talked to her.
Like, why have none of the siblings said, dude, just call her, she is sorry?
I think
I know they're trying to stay out of it.
Yeah, well,
I get that.
Mike and Isaac, actually, that was the closest they've come.
Well, because he straight up was like
Yeah.
talking some shit.
Yeah.
And
It's like, how can you talk shit when you're
I
about a
think-
woman you don't even know?
I think that's the first time that he's done that. Like, I think he was so angry that, again, it was the whole religion thing and that you never get divorced. And then he suckered into this marriage at a young age.
I think that's what bothers him the most.
Yep. And then now he's stuck with her and he doesn't want to get divorced, but hey, they're getting divorced. So maybe that is an option. And now I'm confused because do I want a divorce? Because it sounds kind of nice, but it's bad. And I know I shouldn't. And he's so wound up in himself.
Yeah.
Like the guy, I mean, Ethan is not a bad person. He is just choosing to have the wrong person be the focus of his life. And that happens to a lot of us. I've done it. I've been there. I mean, he doesn't even see it. And that's a problem when you're in that kind of a controlling relationship. You don't see it until it's too late and you're like completely isolated and alone and like got nothing left. And I hope that does not happen to him because he's not a bad guy. You know, he's an introvert who, you know, just wants to do what he does, not have no drama.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a bad person. He just needs to get away from Olivia and go back to who he is. That's my opinion for the day.
And I think he tries to, but then she suckers him back in.
Yep, he loves the country. He was so happy when they were at the farm and running and playing. I haven't seen him that happy since season 1. You know?
We haven't seen it yet because we haven't had that episode yet.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, guys. Oops. Spoiler alert.
We haven't seen nothing yet.
Oh, sorry. I get so confused going back and forth, but we're almost caught up and won't have to do this anymore. So I hope you guys enjoyed our review of Welcome to Plathville, Season 4, Episode 8.
Chime in. Let us know your opinions.
Yes, please, because, I mean, we're here for you. We want you to know what's going on with them, and we want to know how you're feeling about it. So please, like, just, you know.
Let us know.
Absolutely.
Send a comment.
And we will see you again soon for Season 4, Episode 9. But until then, please spay and neuter your pets.
Subscribe.
Please wear your seatbelt.
Subscribe.
Please use your turn signal.
Comment.
And please, please be kind.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.